intended the comment as a mockery of lawyers. I was imitating what a lawyer tasked with negotiating the case would be saying and being sarcastic to express that they shouldn't be coming up with crazy arguments to minimize the payment. I laughed at the ridiculousness of how these incidents are litigated and the ridiculousness of how I watch these incidents play out as two parties bargain over a tragedy. He continued to write in this filing with the Office of Police Accountability. I do understand that if a citizen were to hear that, they would rightfully believe I was being insensitive to the loss of a human life. I also understand that if I heard it, it could diminish the trust in the Seattle Police Department and make all of our jobs more difficult. With all that being said, the comment was not made with malice or a hard heart. It was quite the opposite, he said.
Oh, sure, yeah.
By the way, he's got a bit of a history being pretty callous. I'll get to that in a minute. I want to hear your thoughts so far.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go to the members first because I think they nailed on a couple of things. James Neo Saturn, a YouTube member, wrote in, "Damn, he even has a Joker-like laugh." And the reason I'm reading that is because you want to talk about ridiculous. You're claiming you're actually on her side in that tape, that you had sympathy for her, but that you were mocking the callousness of the lawyers. Please, man, we got eyes, we got ears. Come on, man, you're laughing your ass off. And you said her life had limited value and then laughed. Imagine, hold on, imagine that's your daughter. I got a daughter. Imagine that's your daughter. And he's having a good belly laugh over how limited her the value of her life was.
All right.
And then come around and tell us that, look, it's one thing to say you're talking about the lawyers. It's one thing to say you were sarcastic. But do not pretend that you were on her side or had any sympathy for her. That's ridiculous. And then, most importantly, Bernie, another YouTube member, wrote in, "Cops don't see us as human." And I think, guys, unfortunately, that's how we train them, to have a callous disregard for the citizens' lives. And what drives me crazy is the extremeness on all sides. So we were supposed to reform this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a giant problem in policing in America, that we train them, worry about yourself, care about your own safety, and the citizens are, don't worry about it, just shoot, do whatever you have to do, better to be judged by 12 than carried out by 6. Your life is more important than the citizens' lives. We train that. We ask reasonable reform on the left, saying, please fix that training. And then other folks said, no, defund the police. That slogan made it seem like we were going to get rid of police. It turned everybody off. And you know what we've done since?
Nothing.
No, we've increased funding for the police, and it instituted no accountability. You've got to find a reasonable way to get accountability. That's what the giant majority of the country wants. They don't want no cops. They don't want runaway cops who are killing our daughters and having a good laugh over it. They want accountability, and they want them to care about our lives. It's not too much to ask for, and we can't get it in any part of the political spectrum.
Yeah, it's super frustrating because everything that's transpired following the protests in 2020 has been a bit of a disaster, right? So you've got the slogan. Yes, you have some cities that very briefly cut funding to police departments and then immediately decided, no, we're going to not only